Hello and welcome to another verse of the day. Today's verse is John 15:2, a verse that is easy enough to translate if you're already familiar with it, but if not, there's going to be some challenges along the way. Now, to start out with, I'd like to point out the words that you may not recognize. First is the word klema, which is a neuter noun meaning branch. Second is this word, which comes from kathairo, a verb that means to clean or to prune, and it actually only occurs this one time in the entire New Testament. And while you should know all the other words in this sentence, I would like to point out the verb pharaoh, which you can see here, here, and here. It means to bring, or in this case, to bear, and just pay attention to these two, because they're kind of masquerading like second declension nouns, but they're not. Secondly, I'd like to point out that with this kai, we're conjoining two independent clauses, each with their own main verb, and then we've also got a hina clause here, which is a dependent clause, and it is also going to have a verb in it. So now take some time, pause the video, do the best you can to translate, and then unpause, and we'll work through it together. Alright, so what's the main verb in our first sentence? The main verb is ire, and it's present active indicative, third singular, coming from the verb iro, which means to take or to take away. Now here's where things get tricky, because normally we'd ask next, what is the subject of the sentence? And we'd probably want to say that this word that's in the nominative case, most likely, klema, is the subject. However, since the previous verse described God as being the vine dresser, then it's most likely that the subject of this verb is God. He takes it. And here's our direct object. So he takes it is kind of our foundation of the sentence. And then this whole phrase right here is just going to be redescribing what it is, and it's been placed at the front of the sentence as opposed to afterwards for emphasis. So here we have the word every describing branch, in me describing branch, and then we get to this word, which is actually a present active participle. And here it is agreeing with klema in number, case, and gender. And so it's neuter, singular, nominative. And finally we have the word fruit, which is functioning as the direct object of this participle. And this whole phrase, every branch in me not bearing fruit, or every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes it away. Now fortunately, what follows in the next sentence is a very similar construction. Here's our main verb. It's present active indicative, third singular, again with the same subject as the previous one. The personal pronoun it is again functioning as our direct object. And again we have this phrase placed in front of it more for emphasis. The word branches imply bearing fruit. He prunes it. And then finally we come to our dependent clause, which is a hina clause, and it's functioning adverbially. It's modifying this verb, showing us why God is doing the pruning. This verb pharaoh here is present active subjunctive, third singular. It has the word fruit as its direct object, and the word pleiona, it's a comparative adjective that means more, and it's describing fruit. So let's go ahead and translate. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes it away. And every branch that bears fruit, he prunes it so that it might bear more fruit. Whew. Well, there are a couple curveballs in there, but we made it through, and that's our verse for the day.